Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Veil. It is so great to see everybody, and I am super excited because we're in a brand new format. The great thing is that we're going to be able to pull up your comments right on the screen and be able to broadcast in multiple directions. So today we're just doing Facebook on two different pages, but next week we're going to be on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook all simultaneously. So I'm very excited. We're growing up. Always, we need to introduce our panel. I'm sure that most of you probably already know who they are, but let me bring on Tyler Black. Hello, Tyler. How are you? Let me unmute you. Sorry, baby. And then, of course, we got
muted me. Hi, everybody.
I know, right? And then we got Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. Hi, Marcy.
Hello, everybody.
And then, of course, we got Brooke Logan Stoner. Hi, Brooke.
Hello, everyone.
She's beat today, as they say. We talked about that before.
It makes it sound like I need to take a nap.
I know, exactly. And Gaetana from a gallery of amazing things. It's so great to see you again, and thank you for coming back. I know that we were like, okay, last week, come back.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, I'm excited that you guys are all here and that we get to have some fun on this new format. It's like, yay! I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, are you into this? Or are you like, okay, I'm too tiny? I know.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting.
I get to see everyone, so I'm digging that gig. But
right?
Once my Facebook fires up and I see what I look like on public television, I'll let you know.
Well, the great thing is that if you're just joining us, the nice thing about this new format, that if you make a comment in the comment section, it will pop up in the studio, and I'll be able to bring it right up on the screen, so everybody gets to see what you say. Now,
so be nice.
Nice.
I know, but be nice. Well, because I have editing privileges, so I can always
good to know.
Monitor in the room.
So, all right. So let's get right into this. So, obviously we have beat to death the COVID-19 issues, the contract issues. What does attrition mean? How do you go about handling your vendors for move dates? And I thought, maybe this week we should expand our conversation a little bit about some of the other stuff that happens that's not so pretty when it comes to weddings, right? So, I mean, I sent you guys that little thing, but one of the things that comes up a lot is obviously budgets, but what people lie about when it comes to budgets. I mean, have you guys had any of those experiences where you've had somebody that stretched the truth a little bit for the family and friends, and then what was that circumstance?
Didn't we call that a white lie?
Yeah, they get right. I mean, why does it have to be so racist? I'm just saying. But Tyler, I know. Here we go. So Tyler, I see you bobbing your head. I'm assuming that means you've heard this.
Well, I get a lot of I get a lot of lies in when it comes to budgeting. They're going to tell me that they don't have any money at all. We might want to mute when we got noise in our background.
I'm like, who's mowing the lawn, honey?
Well, no, it's Gaetana. She has somebody vacuuming in the background.
Oh, for everyone.
I'll wait. When you come to me, just turn me back on.
Okay, because we're listening to the vacuum.
Like Genie in the bottle, rub me.
I'm like, what is happening in the background there? I was like, oh, sounds like somebody.
The new bathrooms.
Oh, yes, the new toilets. That's nice.
Oh my God. Okay, I look really pretty. I'm just saying. Hold on. Can we just talk about that for a minute? My Facebook's looking.
Wait, Brooke. It's me.
Okay,
it's me.
the show can go on now.
Oh gosh! Yeah,
when you put glitter in your beard, I'll give you your moment.
Look, I'll just bring Tyler up full screen, so
don't threaten me with a good time. I've got.
So y'all just see me staring in the mirror all day.
Well, and it glitters like sand, man. No matter where, if you use it just once, it is there forever. Everywhere. Oh my God! And that's why it makes me laugh when venues say, "Oh, no glitter," and they're like, "What do you mean no glitter? What do you mean?" And I'm like, well. Yeah. Anyway, so back to our topic, lying about your budget, right? And not just lying about your budget, but lying to your friends, your family, even your vendors about your budget. You were about to say something, Tyler. You were about to give me an example like that.
Sometimes they don't really know what their budget is, and that's understandable.
Do they?
But sometimes there's this little game people play, especially down here in South Florida,
right?
Where they're, they think it's cute or it's necessary to really undercut what they may have or this, but they don't realize how much of your time they're wasting.
Right.
When we start doing proposals, we have to call for availability, cost of the flowers. There's so much time that the brides don't realize that we put into writing a proposal, not to count the hours to write a proposal. And if you're not serious about what you have and what you're just wasting our time, well, that's not making a friend with me. And when I don't fall in love with my bride, she don't get extra flowers. She don't get extra stuff that I tend to give just about everybody because I fall in love with them. If you're honest with me and you say, I don't really know what my budget is, this is what I'd like to achieve, or I'm really on a strict budget, then I'm going to work to my nth degree to make your dream come true. But if you start from the beginning playing a game with me, I'm not going to fall in love with you as much as I would if you were just, being honest with me. And I tend to, when I go to the market, I'll see something that's on sale or something, I'll throw it in and I'll just make your wedding better. Or I might find something in my warehouse that I could just throw onto the truck to make your wedding better. But if you make me feel like you're just beating me up all the time because it's the game that you've grown up and you think you have to play with every vendor, then I'm not going to fall in love with you, and you're not going to get the bonus stuff that we would normally give you.
And I actually was thinking more about my specific example was that I had a bride, well, actually I have a mother of the bride, that every week she would go to the grocery store and she then would add $100 gift card onto her bill so that her husband wouldn't know that she was spending more extra money on the wedding. And I was like,
clever little witch.
I know. I mean, there's something that says that's clever, but there's also something a little sneaky about that, because then she would come to a vendor with, let's say, 10 public gift cards, and she's like, "Can you just run one off and let's just pay down?" I mean, at the end of the day, it worked, but if she had gotten caught or if it had come out, I mean, I just think about like the arguments that would have ensued in the family.
I'm pretty sure we got a couple of subs out of that deal, didn't we? Get lunch. I think we had to pick it up.
Well, but Gaetana, have you ever run into that? Oh gosh, I got that.
Yeah. Hold on one sec, Alejandro.
Oh.
Can you do that for me, please? Can you go ask them that?
So,
please?
by the way,
do they need to do that right now?
So Gaetana is in the midst of construction. So you can hear all that's going on, and they're working on her bathrooms.
It's really great working here.
It's super glamorous.
Especially when I try to be on the phone or walk somebody through the building every 30 seconds. But
and you're like,
awesome.
Believe me, it's gonna be beautiful. Believe me.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Last week, the paint fumes were so noxious that they just told us all, you know what, everybody just go.
You didn't invite us over? I mean, that sounds like a good time.
It felt good for the first 15 minutes.
I forgot to tell you guys something that just happened. Right before we went live, I heard this huge explosion outside. It sounded like an explosion. Yeah. But there's a truck delivering milk for a food drive tomorrow.
No.
And the whole back of the truck just spilled. My drive in front of my shop is actually a white pond.
A milk river.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Really sad.
Really?
All this milk. Yeah.
Milk. It couldn't be like Kahlua or tequila.
I know, right? I mean, it couldn't be something like a liqueur.
After it's in the sun for an hour.
Oh, I'm hoping it rains tonight. Can you imagine what it's going to smell like tomorrow in this heat?
No, that's going to be disgusting.
But I feel sorry for all the people that were going to get that milk tomorrow.
Exactly. That's sad.
Going back to budget, what happens to me a lot by being a venue, by being a venue, they lie to me about what they can spend on that venue as per what. I have some that come right out and say, this is my complete budget. This is budget. I can't go over that. But then they'll want to book me anyway, and I could be 50% of that budget. So now they got to fit
all the rest.
Entertainment, decor, food, and everything else in that other 50%. So now you've got their girlfriend serving crackers, a bunch of grapes, and those cheese cubes from Publix on a paper plate.
Oh, pinwheels! Pinwheels! Oh, pinwheels are great.
Because that's what's left, because they really, really, really wanted the venue. Which we're now circling back to make that not happen anymore. Not that I don't want somebody to have the gallery if that's what they want, but we
Right.
want a certain look here in the gallery. And we don't want it to be cheese cubes on a Ritz cracker on a paper plate in a photograph that gets posted that says, I had my wedding at Gallery of Amazing Things. And I
Right.
know that might sound bad, but it gives other people a whole different feeling about coming to my space to do their fantastic affair of whatever kind of affair it is. And I
Right.
feel bad for that in a way, but I do try to tell them, look, I'd rather see you have the wedding of your dreams somewhere, all parts of it, your decoration, your food, your music, everything you want. And I'll actually call a lot of venues many times to, try to get them to be able to have that in a space. What I used to get in catering, though, when I worked in the temples, Keith, was what you were talking about. I had a lot of wives that didn't want their husbands to know really what they were spending. So they would ask me to make 2 invoices. Look, send this one to the email
Let's cook the
and
books,
slide me
No,
the real one, and I'll pay you cash.
Oh,
And-
Tyler and I were just talking about this today. Pay me cash, and I don't have to pay taxes. I'm like,
Oh, well, that didn't fly because
that can't
it still gets reported, but they would pay me a portion of it cash, but the husband only saw this one. They didn't see the real one. So they could have everything they wanted on that menu, but their husband only knew a portion of it. So that used to happen a lot more in catering.
Well, and that's the thing is that we've even had that where somebody, believe me, I've had multiple people say, like, if I pay you in cash, will you take off 7% or whatever the tax is?
Yes.
And,
I get asked that a lot.
I can't do that because all I have to do is get like audited once and I'm screwed.
Once. Yeah.
I
agree. I totally agree.
Ugh.
I totally
The
agree.
money still gets funneled back in your business because you have to do your operational costs, your still bills and so forth. And
Yeah. Well, you have to justify everything.
Wedding planner that did this, and she got caught, and they estimated back 3 years or something, and they charged her like $50,000 or something.
No.
You are the head of the
She
bride
was doing
family.
all these bar mitzvahs and stuff, and they weren't paying taxes. It's a thing down here. They don't think they have to pay taxes. Well, the state got her through an audit, and
That's
she had to
crazy.
pay $50,000. Yeah.
Oh my
That's
So you're not
God.
doing yourself or anyone else a favor by trying to pull that game.
Right. Well, I know a lot of you are working for yourself. So you're reporting your things on your own. I actually work for a company. So everything of mine goes through their accounting. So I can't play with it. There's no numbers. I can't play with a single number. So that could never happen. That could never happen here.
Well, what about you, Marcy? Ever have that, like somebody come up to you and say, hey, let me pay you cash and you can reduce the price point?
I haven't had that as much as, I actually had somebody say, well, I used somebody else before for my other kids' bar mitzvah many years ago, and they're no longer in business, and they used to give me a discount. Can't you give me a discount?
Well,
and my response back was, well, A, they're not in business anymore.
Right.
First and foremost. And aside from that, that's not my business model. I'm here to provide a product and a service, and my work speaks for itself. And I don't feel that there's a need to discount. I think you get what you pay for in the end. If you go and, search for a product for a price and you're getting it because it's inexpensive, be cautious and be aware. And you don't have anybody that's buying for you. Obviously, that other person isn't in business.
But we have to look at it. Sometimes we have to look at it from the bride's point of view because, this is how business is done elsewhere. But I remember and I just saw that Scott Schaefer just came on from Ritz-Carlton. But I remember when he was over at Hyatt Pier 66, there would be people that would try to come in and pay for $30,000 in cash in order to try to save a little money. I mean, or paying cash in general. And I think there's a rule or something that says if it's over $5,000, it has to be reported. There would be people that would try to come in. Right. I think there's a rule about that somewhere. Does anybody else know that or remember that, hear that?
I don't remember. It's been a lot of years since I've been in the hotel business, but I do remember that I used to be asked, can you give me a discount if I pay you cash?
Yeah.
For like the alcohol or something, and
unfortunately, that's a little.
Justify everything.
it's a little sneaky. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with weddings, and yes, it feels like we're in the entertainment industry, and of course, there's a little bit of loosey goosey that's going on. But at the end of the day, if people bend the rules, sooner or later, it's going to come back to haunt them sooner or later. And if it's not with this, it'll be with a future client when you can't bend the rules anymore. And they're like, well, you did it for my other friend. Why can't you do it? I mean, Tyler, you've run into that.
Well, everything we do has to be contracted. There's a contract and invoiced, and there's an invoice number on everything you do. If you go out of sequence, and they can go back and they can look at your records and see, like with flowers, we have to go. There's a record of us purchasing on those dates. And then if we're not reporting any sales tax for that time, they're going to say, hey, there's something up. And when you've got a certain clientele that you're working on, let's say during certain seasons, you might have the bar mitzvah seasons, you might have the wedding, whatever seasons, you're going to start getting a lot of these. It's always with the personal events. It's never with corporate. They just no one wants to pay tax. No one wants to pay tax, and I get it. I don't want to pay tax. But it really puts us in jeopardy because we still have employees we have to pay during those times. We have, products to buy, and they're going to go in there and look and say, what's up with this? During this period, it's still showing that you bought $50,000 in flowers, but you're only reporting $20,000 in sales. Something's up here. Yeah, and it will end up biting someone in the rear in the end. It's better just to be upfront and say, this is what we got, this is what we can work with, and let's just do everything up front. Because being sneaky causes a karma shift that will always come back and bite you.
Well, and I think that goes to interpersonal relationships as well. If you're trying to be sneaky with your budget with your fiance, what does that say about your future relationship? You know what I mean? What does that say about how you guys are going to interact and communicate? And is it worth it long term? I don't know. Of course, I'm not the bride, so I'm going to say no, it's not worth it. But there are people that it would very much be worth it for them. And I see Gaetana move spots.
I was like, yeah, she fired Becky with the blow dryer.
I left my area. So if it's a little echoey in here, it's because this used to be the room with all the fossils in it.
Oh, yeah.
And we had those sound walls and everything. Well, they took them all down and they painted the room white. So it's
that's nice.
It's a whole lot different in here.
I don't hear Becky with a blow dryer, honey. I will braid all
I don't.
All of it. You and your bangs, but I will do your bangs too. I'll be like,
thank you. Thank you.
Oh God. All right. Well, so let's talk about another touchy subject, and let's talk about weight. Yay! We all love to talk about weight. Why wouldn't we want to talk about weight? And of course, during COVID, guys, I just started a program called Noom, Noom, in order to lose this freaking weight because I've gained 30 pounds during COVID.
And better get your money back.
COVID weight.
Right? I'm like, oh my God.
That's the real 19 right there. That's the true 19.
Are you talking about
it's the pounds you gained.
Are you talking about pounds or wait a minute, girl? Because I just saw you a few hours ago, honey.
Wait a minute. Oh, please.
I love you, but you better get a refund, boo. You better call Noom. Doom for doom.
This is just for day 4, so shut up. It's only day 4, but of course, it educates you on food, and I'm just hoping. But I actually wanted to ask the question in specific to brides and wedding dresses. What do you guys think about? Because we've all had it. Brides come in and they say, I'm going to lose 60 pounds. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to get back in shape. I'm getting in shape for this. Do you guys go through that as well?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
totally.
So Marcy, tell us. What?
Okay. So first thing first, I am a woman of weight. I do need to lose a lot of weight, and it's been a battle of mine through all of the time that I've through my whole adult life. Right. Anyway, my point is that when you're looking for a wedding dress, be realistic with your size. Do not consider the fact that you may or may not lose weight. Think about the fact that you're going to possibly maybe lose a little bit of weight. You may gain a little weight, but be realistic with the size that you order for your wedding dress. As far as making a statement by doing a diet, my suggestion is don't worry about doing a diet. Just eat very healthy, very clean, drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And keep hydrated. Whether you're down in Florida or you're up in Alaska, keep hydrated. That's going to make your skin glow the day of your wedding. You're going to feel fantastic. But I don't think that the diet is really the way to go in the sense of losing weight for your wedding dress.
So I actually had a bride that was really into getting herself like fit for the wedding day. And the issue is she became so into it that the last time that she got her wedding dress tailored was too big. So it came to the wedding dress and, her boobs looked all saggy and, the dress looked all fitting. And we ended up like putting like literally paper clips, those big heavy duty paper clips on the back and tucking them under the fabric in order to pull in the dress enough. So, but it was just super uncomfortable for her. She didn't feel beautiful in it. And if she had just stayed at the weight and just said, okay, this is my size, this is who I am, she would have felt much, much better. And I think how you feel comes across on camera. I mean,
yes, definitely.
I mean, I'm going to go back to Gaetana. I'm unmuting you because I keep muting you because of the construction, but I know you have something to say about this.
I do. I find that the brides typically lose weight anyway in the last 2 weeks. They're always losing because of their own stress. Not because they're really trying to lose weight. They're stressed. They want everything to be perfect. They're not stressed because they're getting married. They're stressed because they want everything to be the way that their vision sees it to be. And they want what you're telling them is going to happen to magically happen. And it will, but they're nervous about it. And I find that they do lose weight in those last 2 weeks anyway. So their last fitting, I always tell them, please go to get your last fit within that last week if you can, because it may need a quick tuck.
And then eat a cheeseburger.
Yes, or eat a cheeseburger. And my other advice to them is always, too, the morning of, don't starve yourself, because they seem to think that they have to keep dieting. Like, it's, girlfriend, if you eat a bagel for breakfast the morning of your wedding, it's not going to like magically show up on your ass.
Right? It doesn't work like that. It's not like you took the cream cheese and just slithered it on your ass. No, that's not how it works.
Eat a nice breakfast. Eat something for breakfast. Have something, because you have to have something in your stomach, not for any other reason that, when you do get nerves later on, it could make you lightheaded. It could do a lot of things during your ceremony that you don't want to happen. So don't diet that day.
Does anybody remember Bridesmaids, where the scene from the wedding dress store?
Yes.
When she just shit right there on the street, it gave me life.
I'm just telling you.
And they're fighting over this thing.
That could be an actual possibility, because I have watched people go through that, where they like don't drink, they reduce their salt, they reduce their sugar, they eat healthy, and then the day of their wedding, they're drinking all morning, they're having bagels and lots of like
and
butter,
all of a sudden,
and then it's like
totally.
And then you spend part of your time
there's no need for that at that point. Like at that point, it's not showing up somewhere. It's just not going to happen. So
have fun with your wedding. I mean, you are who you are, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, be the person that you are.
Get a gown that looks good on you that day when you're trying it. Don't try to make the gown look better as it goes along.
Well, and I say this is
your fiance.
Yeah, that's Tyler. You were about to say exactly what I was going to say.
Okay,
you were going to say, right? So your fiance fell in love with who you are right now.
Yes.
They didn't fall in love with you 30 pounds lighter.
Right.
Stop thinking that.
That's not what they're looking for. Right.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, unfortunately, I feel like advertisement, marketing, those things have really screwed up a lot of like brides. They get this thought in their mind that
Becky with a blow dryer's back.
I know. I'm sorry, just muted.
No, listen, I'm good with it. Just send her over to 307, honey. 2660 307. The door's open
with the vacuum cleaner. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. But I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, how do you tell a bride, look, you are already beautiful, and how do you convey that
now?
Yeah, right.
I
feel
think you
like-
guys
That's what
hit
we're
it right
doing
on the
now.
head.
Because you do these crazy diets, you stress yourself out, and this is what births our bridezillas. And there's a whole new topic.
There's a whole new topic, yes, because bridezilla. Oh my goodness. Well, and that's actually going to come up here in a little bit. But again, I'm going to just reiterate. Go and find a dress that looks beautiful on you now. Don't think about, oh, I'm going to look beautiful if I lose 30 pounds, and then my dress is going to look beautiful on me. No, that's not how it works. Watch Say Yes to the Dress. Watch that.
You have to say,
Yeah.
You have to find a dress that you fall in love with, because ultimately you want to feel fantastic the day of the wedding. If you're not loving the dress the day that you purchase it, because you think, oh, well, I'm going to look better in it, you're not going to feel that much better.
Right.
In fact, you may not feel, it may make you feel worse, because you really choose something that really speaks to you.
Well, and then, okay, so since we've already bridged the subject of gurgle, and have you guys
How
seen,
was that again?
have you
Gurgle.
have you seen that invention that's like basically like a fish net that you put under the dress and it pulls up and it's supposed to help you pee, right?
It's supposed to bring your dress in so that you have the luxury of having your hands and everything to be able to do what you need to do in the potty room.
But don't you hate the fact that you didn't think of this? Because I was like, oh my God, what a stupid, simple, invention. And it makes so much sense. I was like,
well, because, you get the brides that go into the really tight, like the tight mermaid gowns that don't come above their knee. And they don't find out until that day that there's no possibility of using the restroom in that gown. So and for the most part, it probably has 75 buttons down the back. So you're in the bathroom with that crochet hook, trying to get it done really fast, get them out of it so they can go and come back.
I know, isn't that crazy? And that's
then they
one
don't
of the
want to
other
drink
things.
all night.
Yeah, then they don't want to drink all night, and then they get dehydrated, and then they wonder why they faint because you're in this mermaid dress. I mean, yes, beauty is pain, pain is beauty. I totally get that, but you also only get one day at your wedding, and you want to be there. You want to be present and enjoy it, right?
The whole time. The whole time.
I have enough. So this goes into another little area. So we talked about bridezilla just a second ago. So my big thing is sorry, not sorry, right? We've all had the bride that's like, sorry, right? Because at some point, with all of the planning that's going on, of course, people are going to lose it at some point. Of course. I mean, it's too much stress. And when you lose it, how do you go about apologizing to the people around you? That's my question. What kind of information, what kind of guide could you give brides that say, I just lost it on my entire bridal party and now I need to go say sorry?
They need to be upfront. They need to just go and have that conversation and be honest. Say, I had a moment and I'm sorry that I put everybody in a bad space, but be honest.
What about you, Gaetana?
Yeah, I agree with Marcy. They can't kind of push it under the rug. You can't push it under the rug. You did it. Now they're all talking about you behind your back. So, now they're all saying what kind of a monster you are. So just fix it. Just, they all heard it. They all said it. Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. They all heard it. They all heard you become a Godzilla. And so.
Well, and this is the thing I tell brides is that it is absolutely okay for you to lose it once in a while. Now, I'm going to take back that statement for one person, which, Brooke and I know is Coco Chanel. So we'll just not talk about Coco Chanel. But
she made my wedding look like rainbow strawberry shortcake and My Little Pony, honey. So.
That's just there was a lot more going on besides alcohol.
That was the only thing I had to deal with.
And I'm going to tell a bride, I'm going to say this to a bride too, please don't mix substances. Try to, if you're going to do pot, just smoke pot. If you're going to drink, just drink.
I don't mind any of that. Please don't take the 3-year-old children into the bathroom with you.
And the show took a shift.
Wow.
Mommy, you're baking
Wow.
cupcakes.
That
in
was
your
a
house.
wild
Yeah,
event,
explain
eh?
that.
Yes, what is all that flour all over the counter? Anyway, yeah, so that.
When that child turns 18, she's gonna remember that, like, Mom, you're messy and you wasted $20.
I love it, but that's the thing is that we deal with a lot of different people, and the best thing we can do is be honest with them. But most people want to have something that happens the day of, and typically it's small that sets you off. I mean, have you guys? I mean, give me a story. Tyler, give me a story. I know you guys have stories about this.
We're having a hard time hearing you. You're breaking up. You might want to work on your mic a little bit. I
There
don't know
we
if
go.
you asked me, but I'm going to say there's been a trend, because I've been doing this since 1992. And to be honest with you, in those days, I didn't experience so many brides that were victims. And I don't know if it happened because of these TV shows, bridezillas and all this kind of stuff, where they keep seeing that everything goes wrong at a wedding, and the vendors are bad, the caterer's bad, whatever it is. There seems to be a trend that I've experienced only in the recent future. I mean, recently actually, that it seems like there's a need to be a victim. They get something out of being a victim, and so do the mothers.
Yes.
So it's like they go around and they start, I can't believe this happened to me. My day is ruined because this happened. The music just flickered, and it's just horrible. And, and they get into their mind they have to be a victim. And
Right.
it's almost like they're apologizing for their wedding, how it is, by being like trying to say it's this way because all these people are screwing up my wedding. So they're setting up all these disasters in their head, or a way of being before they even get there, that turns them into this. It's like they got to be a victim. I'm going to implore you, brides. You hire people because they are professionals.
Right.
There's always going to be an opportunity for something to not go as planned.
Right.
Please be flexible with it, because it's a show. It's a show, and in the best of shows, people forget their lines, or something flickers, or the power goes out, or something like that. Go with the flow, because your guests do not know,
and they don't care.
the
Honestly,
lines of the show. They don't know the lyrics
they don't
of the
care.
songs.
They really don't. They don't care.
And what they read off you. And if you're walking around looking like Tyler does all the day with the resting bitch face and upset and frowning, they're going to know that you're not happy. Then they're not happy. And then all of a sudden, the whole event has just become a different energy.
Right.
So just have fun. Just have fun with whatever it is. Go with the flow. No one knows.
At least your goatee's on fleek today.
Yeah, at least your goatee's on point today.
Yeah, sunny.
I mean, Gaetana, you've
that's
seen
like
this.
I said.
Yeah.
I did it myself. I mean, at my own daughter's wedding, I walked into the reception and I did. I was that mom for about 5 seconds.
No, you weren't. Oh, I love it.
I was there all day the day before setting up, because I didn't trust everybody to set it up the way that I would set it up. So
Shocking.
I was there, tablecloths, plates, glassware, silverware, and I knew where I put the breaking glass. And when I got there that day, I didn't see it. And that
that's
one
the thing that
item,
sets you off.
that was because I was fine all day with everything. And that one item just set me off. And I don't know why. I guess it was building up. And it took Kay Rivas. She had to sink me. And you just became that mom that we all talk about at every single wedding. You just did it. And I don't want to see it again. So take it away, stop, and put it in your pocket, and you're done.
Have you guys heard of anything? Have you? And I'm asking this because I haven't heard of this. But have you heard about a therapist that is wedding specific? Have you ever heard of that? Because I think that might be something that would be kind of.
I think we're all that therapist. We are that therapist.
Yeah.
I'm the little devil on the right. On Tuesday.
Totally.
I love Jesus every other day.
She's like,
I wear wings.
talking shit about you. Your aunt's talking shit about you.
Sorry.
I love
I
that.
don't know if y'all can hear that, but someone's flight's getting ready to take off. So, all passengers boarding. I guess VIP goes first class first. Becky with the good hair, you can sit in the second row.
Well, and so what are some tips? Because we know that people will lose it and they will lose it over a small thing. What are some tips in order to help people not lose it? Anybody have some suggestions? I mean, there's some breathing exercises, and I know that sounds ridiculously corny, but I know that they work because I use them myself. And believe me, in this household during COVID, I've had to use those breathing exercises every day. So,
what happened yesterday at 4:30?
You know, my AC goes out. I have a fever. I'm like, oh, it was just a day. Anyway, so breathing exercises all day. Everybody thought I was like, you know, I don't know.
Well, does anybody remember my tip from last week? Anyone?
I don't think you remember your tip.
Oh, I know what it is. I was the most sober last week than I've ever in any of these episodes. So I know.
Including
the tip was don't leave your mouth on a running chainsaw. So to brighten up the day, because you're like, what do we do? Well, you get to the chainsaw first, and you empty out the gasoline, and then you can't start it. So I just saved someone's life. See, again, I told you on Tuesdays.
Like, what?
I don't know why you try me with these questions.
I love this. No, I mean,
But I think deflection sometimes also works. You know, they're starting to freak out about one thing, so just guide them somewhere else. You know, look at this, and sometimes that works, not as often. Depends on how big the freak out is.
Right. And as a planner, it is my job to watch everybody's like facial features, especially while they're getting their makeup done. You can tell who's starting to have a tick. You really can. You know. And sometimes all it takes is going over there with a bottle of water and just making sure they're okay, because that comes down to the customer service thing. More of I don't want to feel like I'm not important today. Yes, the bride is important, but also so is the mother, so is the aunt, so is the sister, so are the bridesmaids. And it's important to make sure that everybody feels like, you're here.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Exactly. Sometimes.
That's right. I'm gonna check.
One of the things that also for brides that, you know, I say bring something that brings you comfort the day of the wedding. And it could be a teddy bear, it could be a blanket, it could be a specific pillow.
A gallon of Fireball.
A gallon of Fireball, which I think we've done for a bride. Anyway, but something, right? Something that brings you comfort and relaxes you and kind of smooths it out. Right? Yeah. You guys are there with me, right?
Yes. And I think that, you know, I mean, I always say to brides that you pay to get married. That's it. This is it. So it's best to enjoy it. And the only way you're going to really enjoy it the most is when you're yourself and be relaxed. That's when you're at your best.
But there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of issues being in front of people. I mean, how many brides have we talked to who are not comfortable with being the center of attention? And you're like,
well, sometimes it's not just the center of attention. Sometimes it's also sometimes it's family issues. You know, sometimes it's you know, many times I find that a bride or a groom, you know, there's divorced families and there's situations there with families that that's what they're worried about. They're worried about how everybody's going to react together.
Right.
In the same room for that amount of time. How are they going to sneer at each other? Are they going to get along? Are they going to smile? Are they going to look? Are they going to stand for my pictures?
Or is Uncle Eddie going to get drunk? Is is Aunt Eddie going to go and bake cookies in the bathroom?
Yeah. Sometimes it's a matter of us as planners, you know, to go and talk to the family members and say, you know, just for today, it's 5 hours, 7 hours, just
for today. Well, and
leave her at the front door because she's nervous, and you know, and then everything kind of goes away.
And today's her day. Allow her to have a little extra breathing room when it comes to her emotional. I mean, because unfortunately, you know, parents push buttons because they installed them. You know, they installed those buttons, so they know exactly what to hit. So, you know.
Oh, y'all really are pushing the whole therapist vibe today, aren't you?
But I think that's a big
I feel like we need it. I feel like we're a room full of therapists needing.
I thought $25 did it on a Tuesday, but apparently not.
Funny. So, Marcy, I mean, when it comes to invites, the stress to see between parents and kids over the invites
Oh,
is
yes.
always a little interesting to watch that, because that's typically like at the beginning of the end, so to speak, the invitations, and that's where I really start to see the relationships between family members.
Absolutely.
During invitations.
The invitations, I think, is like you really get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Who's on the wedding invitation, how are they listed on the wedding invitation? Family members who may not be living anymore. If there has been a death in the family, how do you deal with that?
Because invites, the formal invites that used to be, it says the daughter of and the son of, and it was all listed out, and so parents' names were done in long print. And now a lot of bride and grooms are just doing their names and not listing the parents anywhere.
Right. And that's because a lot of them are doing their own weddings. They're paying for their own wedding. So typically the people that are on the wedding invitation are typically the people that are hosting the wedding.
Yeah, but and there's sometimes a level of respect that just sometimes you have to remind them. It's like, yes, I know that they're not paying for all of the wedding, but maybe it's a nice gesture to put it on.
Exactly. I mean, we included ours in mine. It's basically out of respect. But ultimately you have to do what you're comfortable with. If you don't have the best relationship, if you don't have the best relationship and the two of you are putting the wedding on yourself, then don't list one parent and not the other parent. My feeling. If you're going to include one, you can't do it one way and not the other.
Well, sometimes I feel like we're the Jerry Springer of weddings. I mean, because we deal with so many different families and craziness, and you just don't know what you're walking into typically, and that's why rolling with it is a big deal.
Short.
And you don't know who's picking the style or who wants to, what portions they want to do, and you kind of have to read the couple. If it's a couple together, you have to read the couple, or if the mother and the daughter are coming in together, you have to kind of sit back and watch the dynamic between the two of them, because you kind of have to let them work it out for themselves, and you're there to guide them and help them, but you have to let them go through the process, because they're also showing that they're ready to take that step and be a real adult and have their own life, so to speak.
Right. Yes.
Well, and that's the thing is that and we talked about glitter before, and it seems like glitter becomes a thing even with invites. Is that that some people really love glitter, and some people are like, oh no, that is cheesy and very low rent, so to speak. I mean, what do you like?
I don't know. For me, you guys are fading in and out. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
It's kind of like everybody freezes for a moment, and I just hear kind of funny. You hear that too, Tyler?
It's just Keith muting my mic because he's afraid of me.
I'm not. I haven't muted your mic once.
Bitch, I just saw it. It just came. Host has just unmuted your mic. I was like, how long was I muted for? These people didn't hear the. Like, come on.
I'm gonna move to another room. I'm gonna go to another room.
So I'll answer the question about glitter.
Okay, thank you.
Walking around.
I just had a little fun on Brooks.
Whoa, I told you. It's only 3 minutes usually a show, but it's gold.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm trying to move to a quieter spot.
Marcy has.
All right, let's see if I get to a quieter spot now.
I have gotten a brand new tour again.
I don't know. Let's see how this works.
Your bangs look great. Just Becky with the blow dryer. I can't deal with her. Other than that, I'm good. Yeah.
But Marcy, you're gonna say what you like? You like glitter?
So glitter has its time in
it.
I think you're frozen.
Yeah, she's frozen. All right,
go Marcy, go.
So I think glitter has its time and its place, and it depends on the couple, and it depends on the venue and everything that is encompassed in choosing the invitation. It can be done a little tacky at times, and it can be beautiful at times. So you just have to find that right balance. I've done some gorgeous invitations that have just, I mean, they're, and yet they do have the glitter. And then I've done beautiful invitations and, you know, that are just phenomenal without glitter. So you really have to know the couple, know how their venue, and choose the right, I mean, it has to be for the right time. I wouldn't put glitter in a kid's birthday party invitation kind of a thing. I mean, that's,
well,
unless you're doing like a fun confetti kind of thing, you know?
But you have to be kind of careful also, because I've gotten wedding invites that are glitter, and you pull it out of the envelope and it gets all over you.
And it gets everywhere.
Glitter bomb, and you're like, really?
See,
Right.
Got glitter
No.
all over me.
I would drive right to
I'm
that
not for
girl's
the
house
photo
and
bomb.
beat her to death. I would. She would have like the Karen haircut
Yeah.
in 2 seconds, honey.
No,
Glitter
I'm
don't
not
go away, but
stuff that gets
ever.
all over the place.
Gets
I like
everywhere.
the kind that stays on the invitation, not all over the place.
That's great.
Rhinestones are nice. E6000 stays put.
And
Not
of course,
messy.
I say this because Tyler's got all sorts of glittery stuff behind him, so I know he loves the glitter. I'm just saying.
I just want to lick his beard.
Well, no, you know, that's his dress. He put up his evening gown behind him. And
Yeah, I'm wondering why. Like you made me sign into this chicken shit show hours beforehand, and I have
what?
This,
Are you kidding?
I mean,
I was
how
like,
dare you?
How
You have
dare
no
you?
idea. Like, all of this is because of the background that I chose,
That's-
and no one gets to. I can't feature it. It's not fair.
Welcome back, Gaetana.
I'm trying to move around because not only is that noise in the background, but then apparently I was too noisy for the other meeting. That was
Oh God!
Oh, thank God! I thought it was something
So-
I said.
no. So they asked me to
No.
leave. So now I'm in the lobby, and maybe this will be a little better. I'm at the piano.
Oh, see, that's amazing. But you know, your place is going through a lot of opportunities, and
Yeah.
I know for the rest of us, I was just talking to Tyler and Marcy and earlier, and we were talking about the fact that business has really come to a halt. And here we are. All my weddings that were through November are moved.
Yeah.
They're done. All the so all of a sudden I'm sitting here with nothing.
I just I booked a wedding with one of the caterers I work with yesterday for this Saturday. They were supposed to get married at Villa Woodbine in Miami with Bill Hansen this coming Saturday.
Oh
And Miami, as you know, even their restaurants you cannot even go inside a restaurant unless you're just picking up food. So
How many people?
it's 65 people.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
And it's at Living Sculpture. So again, in DV.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
It's outdoors.
Didn't you just do an event there at Living
did.
Sculpture?
I just did a wedding 3 weeks ago. So now this is another one that just came up yesterday, and they called me and they said, look, we need somebody to cater
Handle
and run it because Bill Hansen was doing it in the past down at their venue, and they can't have it at their venue anymore. So
Was he
Can you
not?
help?
Would he not go to Living Sculpture? Is that the issue?
so
Not to throw anybody under the bus. Just
I
saying.
don't know what the logistics of the whole thing was. I
Right.
really don't. All I know is they called us up to jump in. So now another caterer that I work with is going to handle it over there. And so, there are some events that really want to still happen. But on the same day, I also got a November wedding that's moving to February or March.
I feel like we've gone through 4 months of hurricane issues. Because, when a
That's a
hurricane
good way to put it.
Exactly. When a hurricane comes
For
through
real.
and burns down a bunch of buildings, all of a sudden you're rushing to move your wedding to a new date, and you find yourself kind of caught. And here we've had to do it for not just the couple of weddings around a hurricane, but 6 months worth of hurricane weddings. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we have a somewhat busy hurricane season just off the coast, just enough to scare people, so that everybody feels a little better about the fact that they had to move their wedding. It would be nice if people go, "I'm so glad we moved our wedding."
Yeah.
Fluffy,
Yeah.
Fluffy,
Yeah,
Fluffy, mute
We
my
skirted
mic.
that one.
Fluffy, mute my mic, please.
you're unmuted. What are you talking
I know.
about?
I need mute it, please.
You said mute it.
I'm gonna.
What is she talking about?
The show's never been better.
I know.
This is awesome.
I know. We're all like, what is she talking about? Oh, look at her. Okay, you know what? Maybe we just need to bye. Look at her. Look. Wait till you see her.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love
It
this.
comes back in full animation.
Oh, I love this.
I'm a water bison. I will get you.
We can hear you now.
I'm sure. The neighbors heard. The dude at the gate.
Oh my God!
Listen, big is beautiful, and
Honey,
I think I love Mars. I think she looks fabulous. So
you just made my whole life right there. I just made my whole life just because of what you look like, and it looked like you were reading somebody as they were walking behind the camera.
Honey, I have a 3rd grade education. You know I can't read.
But you can be.
Do you ever realize like how long it takes me to do ABCs on those place cards? It's like, girl, it doesn't take 3 hours to do ABCs and 1, 2, 3. I was like, I know how to do algebra, honey.
Oh my God. Nobody uses it. So we're getting to the end of our show. So I'd like to again ask you guys for this week's tip of the day for a bride, for a wedding. You know, anything. It can be anything. Like, what is something that you live by that a bride should like stick to, work at, look at, something that'll help them? Tyler.
Okay, so I'm going to keep on topic, and I don't really know how to put this thought into words, but when an opportunity arises, when something is not going exactly the way you think it should, and this should be throughout the whole wedding, and you start feeling your blood pressure rising, and you start feeling like you need to turn into a monster, ask yourself a question. Let's take that glass in particular, the breaking of the glass thing. Is me missing that light bulb at the moment worth blowing up? Ask yourself that question, and then ask yourself, what can I do to solve this problem? There's always a solution, and that problem might be go to Tyler. I got this situation. What can Tyler do? Go to Keith. Go to Marcy. Go to Brooke. Of all people, she can beat it to death. She's got an answer for everything.
Oh, great!
She's got
her a mass murderer and shit.
She's got
great.
her little box of goodies that can fix anything. She's the
Bob Ross. I'm not Bob Ross, bitch.
I was like, she's got her pill.
Really, ask yourself, and this could be something for us to ask.
Come on, Wig.
Or the mother. Just repeat. You're upset about. Just say, "This is the situation." Are you upset about that? Now let's just solve the situation. And in the whole scheme of things, is it worth making yourself look unsuccessful? Because you're only as successful as your event is, and that goes for the bride, the mother, or whoever. If you're frazzled, you didn't have a successful event. If you put on a game face that this is the best event and you're having the best time, nobody knows that little situation happened. No one needs to know. You make yourself look bad. You do not need to be a victim. Victim is not cute.
Psychologists actually say the act of smiling, using your muscles to smile, actually has a direct effect on how you feel, which I find really interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So, Marcy, what's your tip? What's your be all end all?
My tip is to check out Dr. Andrew Wheel's breathing exercise called 478.
Oh, look at you with your specifics.
It's a fantastic. I do it. It's I think it's probably the same technique that you use, Keith.
Yeah.
But I use it several times a day when I'm under any stress or anxiety, or if I need to think and focus. That's what I use. And for your wedding day, that's a highly stressful day. So I say, during your planning and on your wedding day, use that. You want to be at your best, and you want to be, you want to enjoy the day. I mean, it goes by very quickly.
It really does.
So you really want to be present. You want to enjoy it. And there's no reason and there's no need to get excited, but just relax and enjoy it.
I agree. Gaetana, how about you, baby?
So I'm going to go back to something that I mentioned earlier, which is make sure, I tell every bride, every groom, eat a good breakfast, stay focused on what you're doing to get ready. Because once those photos start and we snap into go mode, we need your full, undivided attention. We need everybody there. We need you present just for that little while. Stay with us. Stay with us. And then, once all of those formalities happen and once all of that goes away, then you can focus on your fun. Right. Not too much fun because we want you to remember your wedding. But
you want to remember it. That's a big.
You want to remember it. So when we get to that party part, I'll always ask them, what are your drinks? What are your go-to drinks? And I make sure they get a few of them, and then they're getting soda with lemon, things like that. I try to watch what they drink. I try to take away out of their hands whatever their friends bring them all the time, because I don't want them falling down and being sloppy at the end of the night. I want them to remember their day. So it's like, get that good breakfast in you, focus on me for the day. Let me help you get through these hard parts so you can have the fun. But let's also get through the day where we can remember just how wonderful, because you spent, like you said, so much time, so much energy, so much money planning and wanting this event that you don't want that to be you at the end of the night where we're pouring you into your car so that we can, get you back to your hotel or wherever you're going. We want you to remember this wonderful, wonderful day, and not just in pictures.
I agree.
Or maybe not some of those pictures.
Right. Not some of the late night. Well, my tip is to hire somebody that's going to take care of the small details throughout the day. You do not want to be the person having to put out your place cards, or even figuring out, do I have a speaker for music for my bridesmaids? You should have a planner or an event person that thinks of those things for you, so you don't have to, and is experienced enough to know you're going to need music in your ready room and has it ready for you, or even has a bonding material because of nail breaks. And a good planner is going to have that. A good planner is going to have aspirin. The good planner is going to have duct tape. They're going to have sewing needles. They're going to have all those things.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to worry about that. I mean, we actually had a wedding in Ocean Reef where the mother-in-law who bent over, and she had saved up forever for this dress because she was marrying into a family that had a lot of money. And so
this isn't going to end well.
And the zipper popped. It popped wide open. And you could just see her face. It just literally melted. And I literally ran over to her and I said, relax, I got this, I'll fix it. You can't fix this. I said, sweetie, I can fix anything. There is not a single thing in a wedding that I'm not going to be able to fix. Just step out of that dress and I'll take care of it. And we did. We fixed the zipper. We pulled it all back together, got her back in it, and she looked amazing.
Yeah.
But again, if I wasn't there, they would have just thought the zipper was broken. They don't know that you can sew somebody into a dress. They don't know that. And that's, So I feel like that, my tip is find somebody that is going to think of the things that you're not thinking about, because you get to do this once in your life. We get to do this every weekend. God willing, And
I think we all add a little part of that to our repertoire every single wedding. We
every
see something
single
else
time
that happens, so now we're carrying smaller other details with us to the next wedding, because it happened once, there's nothing to stop it from happening again.
Well, and that's why I have my toolbox. I have my wedding toolbox, because every time we find a solution, it goes back into the toolbox just in case it happens again. And that's
unless your assistant takes your little gay hammer. I use it every day for something.
I had literally a flower pattern hammer that I had found, and you'd unscrew it, and it had a screwdriver, and it had another screwdriver, and she's like, "I'll take that."
The little gay hammer. I'm like, yeah, really. And I said something not very nice to say on TV to him, and I'm like, but then I was like, oh, but this is something, and I'm like, oh, and I get a Phillips and a straight head. I said, all right. And then I was like, I shoplifted, yes.
Oh my God. So Brooke, final thoughts?
What do we have, a minute? See, this is y'all are getting good. I was supposed to get 5 minutes.
God, good. You don't need over 5 minutes. I understand.
Well, sometimes you just gotta be rude, like I am. Chainsaw. Let's just
stay with the chainsaw.
No, I'm not. There's a couple things. Keith knows this about me. Any of my employees that have ever worked for me, they used to mock me for this. Before I would leave out the door for the day, I was at a GM for a restaurant. I would always thank everybody for their hard work, and the last thing I would say is always be kind to one another.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
Hello, Ellen.
Like, you don't have to be super great and 5-star me on the forehead. Don't be a dick at all. If you have nothing nice,
Richard. Do not be a Richard.
Nothing nice to say.
Not be a Richard.
Come sit next to me on Tuesday.
A Richard is a horrible thing.
I'll plug you in the stream or something, but maybe we'll get a background. But no, just be kind. Like it doesn't really for you to be so nasty and so ignorant and so mean to somebody. That takes a whole lot of energy.
Well, one of the
direct that somewhere else.
Well,
Go
actually,
pick me some tulips, girl, or
one of the things I really love about Brooke, one of the things I really like about Brooke is that at the end of the night, she actually goes around to all the staff, all the kitchen people, says thank you to every single person.
And the vendors.
And
no, I hear. Oh yeah, you know about that.
No, she goes to right. She goes to every chef, every busboy, every waiter. She personally thanks them. I just love that about her because it's not something that I had always done in the past. I would always say thank you to the servers and the people.
And I don't even say me. I always say on behalf of Keith Willard Events. I plug him all the time because my boss is the best person on the planet, as we all know.
But you know,
because that little thing, just like that little tiny thing, I have seen these older women that are doing the gigs that they just beam for joy. That made their whole entire day. Just to be kind and to acknowledge that we see your hard work means the world to them. It means more than $100 bill. I promise.
It really
does.
So
I do go, like he said, I go every single wedding we do, even if it wasn't the best. I still thank people, and then we'll handle the rest later. But I'm always professional, and I always leave with that because
And I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you write a small handwritten thank you with a $20 bill in it or a $10 bill in it, and you do one for each server, that means the world to them. And it's then you don't have to give it 50. You don't have to give them a 50. You can give them a 20 and a handwritten note.
You don't have to give them anything. Just acknowledge it. If you got
you want to give them
even better. Of course. I'm just saying, like, for someone to be like, oh, this chick's see that's what, and we have certain staples at certain, we have a certain like 5 hotels that we repeat offender at because they do love Keith Willard Events. Go check out our 5 stars. Look at all the awards Keith has.
Look at her plugging me. Look at her.
And I'm like, I get to take ownership in all of that since November of last, because it was a team. I couldn't take credit for the year before, but I get to, and then it gives me so much joy. And Tyler and we work with and Marcy and everyone we work with, everybody's a part of it. It does take a village. I'm a big village. I really am. But I mean, sometimes I need a little bit of help.
Oh my God. So again, guys, thank you for joining me for another Tuesday at 2 Behind the Veil. Tyler Black with Kesha Events. Thank you, love. Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. Gaetana with a gallery of amazing things, brand new, coming soon to you. And of course, Brooke Stoner. I love you guys so much. Next week, we will be back with Nicole will be back with us. Finally, Nicole Sellers will be back with us.
Yay.
And then we're going to be hopefully talking to some makeup artists about what you need to be thinking about for your next wedding and the right kind of makeup for you. So,
nice.
Well,
right?
I'll let you know.
I know. You should let me know. All right, my loves.
I love you all. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
If you can't be nice, drink concrete.